1932. She led the way in sports.
Coming up on the rear of the pack, big Red Jensen, 38 from the Bomber Squad.
Hannes Jensen was a tough blocker in a tough sport, roller derby.
There's Jensen with a block, 38. There's Jensen with another block.
She was quite a jammer, too.
Just a second. Just a second.
Colleagues for this season, glorious and fearless Frank Gifford.
Farewell to Frank Gifford, a star receiver for the New York Giants. He was knocked out cold in 1960 by number 60, Chuck Bednarik of the Philadelphia Eagles. Concrete Chuck, as he was known, also left the field this year. Their historic collision was captured back then by this still photo. CBS's Tony Werner would change that 3 years later by giving us the instant replay.
Professional football in America is a special game.
Ed Sable used all of Hollywood's tricks to bring football's bruising drama into our living rooms.
The game is beautiful and I love it, and that's the way I want to portray it.
He made football a national obsession. You can thank him or blame him for that. Yogi Berra loved baseball passionately and exuberantly as a player and as a manager. And he had a way with words, too.
When you come to a fork in the road, take it.
It seemed to capture something true while making no sense at all.
We may be lost, but we're making good time.
Yogi, the future ain't what it used to be. Oh, yeah! Stuart Scott shared his exuberance for sports in his own inimitable style.
Strides up court like this after...
And left us too soon. George Barris created the Munsters coach, the Beverly Hillbillies jalopy, and this. The Batmobile. Shiny, sleek, and supercharged. The better to propel superheroes Batman and Robin on their crime-fighting missions. George Barris died this year at 89, but the Batmobile lives on. And even, occasionally, ferries other Caped Crusaders on high-minded missions. Lenny Robinson was one of those. His Batman brought a bit of joy to very ill children. He was a real superhero.
I wanted to wear that jersey and feel like a superhero again.
And so was 19-year-old Lauren Hill, who lost her battle with brain cancer, but not before fulfilling her dream.
Today's been the best day I've ever had.
Golly, I wish we could get in touch with Superman.
Jack Larson, your Jimmy Olsen, was no superhero, but he did have a superhero friend.
You didn't get here a minute too soon.
Goodbye to you, Jack.
Perhaps you'd include Batgirl, too.
And to Yvonne Craig, who astonished everyone every time she came to save the day.
Batgirl? Batgirl, Batgirl.
On Star Trek, Yvonne Craig used her considerable charms to seduce Captain Kirk. Those charms didn't work so well on the ever-analytical Mr. Spock.
We've worked out an infallible method for assuring permanent male fidelity. Interesting.
A Vulcan salute to you, Leonard Nimoy.
Live long and prosper.
And a long overdue salute to you, Calvin Span. As one of the Tuskegee Airmen, he flew 26 combat missions in World War II.
The Negro pilot has proved himself a capable, fearless fighter. Dangerous and deadly to the enemy, and able defender of the American way of life.
But he could not get hired as a pilot after the war. Edward Brooke of Massachusetts did not think of himself as a black leader, but he was one. The first African-American ever elected to the U.S. Senate by popular vote.
I extend to you my profound gratitude for giving me the supreme moment of my life.
Julian Bond was a born leader, a very young Georgia legislator who came to the national stage at the Democratic Convention of 1968.
I'm deeply appreciative of the honor of having my name placed in nomination as a vice presidential candidate. Unfortunately, I have not yet reached the age.
He championed the cause of civil rights for the rest of his life.
Thou shalt not sin against equality.
Mario Cuomo electrified Democrats in 1984.
E-R-A.
And might have been president had he chosen to run. Fred Thompson first appeared on the national stage during the Watergate hearings.
Are you aware of any devices that were installed in the executive office building office of the president?
Yes, sir.
And stayed there as senator, presidential candidate, and actor.
Senior captains don't start something this dangerous without having thought the matter through.
There are many ways to serve your country.
I'm Beau Biden, and Joe Biden is my dad.
Beau Biden served his country faithfully and well for far too short a time. Farewell. Benny King, your song gives us hope in our darkest hours. Nicholas Winton gave humanity hope in a very dark hour. He rescued 669 children from the horrors of the Holocaust.
Why did you keep it secret for so long?
I didn't really keep it secret. I just didn't talk about it. Thank you, Sir Nicholas, and thank you, Bob Simon, for telling that story and so many others honestly and eloquently here at CBS News. You were family, as were you, producer Harry Radliff, and you, Sandy Sokolow, who helped Walter Cronkite take us all to the moon.
Ray Gandalf's subject this morning is Big Money Betting.
Ray Gandalf, your smart sports stories helped to get us started here at Sunday morning. You were family, too. What varied gifts they gave us. Gary Dahl gave us this, the Pet Rock. Comes with its own carrying case. He sold 1 million of them. Horst Brandstatter sold nearly 3 billion of these. Playmobil pirates and cowgirls and knights and plastic worlds for them to live in. Don Featherstone fashioned plastic into pink flamingos to stick on your lawn. And architect Michael Graves showed us that tea kettles and toasters can be as beautiful as towers in the right hands. Robert Loggia played the piano with his feet. A little tune that will cheer us up for years to come. Just a song at twilight. Oliver Sacks explored the strange paradoxes of the human brain with humor, affection, and a never-ending curiosity.
I don't know why music is so powerful. I think it's a great mystery.
Still to us at twilight comes love's sweet song, comes love's own sweet song. Farewell, Dr. Sacks. And farewell to E.L. Doctorow, who took us to earlier eras with his eloquent pen.
In fiction, there are no borders. You can be anything and do anything.
And to journalist David Carr, who explained our modern media world with brilliance and passion. Goodbye to John Forbes Nash, whose beautiful mind inspired a movie. And to Charles Towns, whose brilliant mind harnessed the power of light. The lasers he developed changed our world forever. Joel Spira's invention let us dim the lights now and then.
I got a call one day saying that the Beatles are arriving in 2 hours. Would you like to make a film of it?
1, 2, 3.
Albert Maysles was glad he said hello in 1964.
So I put my hand over the phone and turned to my brother and said, "Who's the Beatles? Are they any good?" And he said, "Yeah, they're great."
Cynthia Lennon became famous as John's wife. That can't have been easy. Mrs. Margaretta Murphy scandalized the country when she married a presidential hopeful in 1963.
New York's Governor Rockefeller hopes that time and public exposure to the new Mrs. Rockefeller will turn the odds his way before the Republican convention next year.
Goodbye, Happy. And goodbye to Leslie Gore, who gave us a hit song for when we are sad. Donna Douglas as Ellie Mae Clampett.
Got me rocking on pegs.
You kept us laughing for 9 seasons on the Beverly Hillbillies, which featured a band called the Enemies in 1965. A band that would become Three Dog Night. Singer Corey Wells died this year. It was fun while it lasted. Jack Ely, your song was considered so scandalous in 1963, it was investigated by the FBI. They never figured out what it meant either.
She's a home baby because he belongs to bottom, but you keep it love it.
Clark Terry. No need to call in the FBI.
Did you see my hands there?
What a remarkable band of musicians left us this year. Alan Toussaint, Buddy Evans, Ornette Coleman, Phil Woods, Chris Squire, and Cynthia Robinson, the queen of funk. She played a mean horn with Sly and the Family Stone.
Hey, everybody, let's have some fun. You want me to function when you're dead?
B.B. King, how can we even begin to thank you for all the good times? You were, are, and always will be the king of the blues. James Horner, your talent was titanic. Your music will go on and on. As were the moments, great and small, given to us by those we came to think of as family. Dick Van Patten, the ever-reliable TV dad.
It's only natural that guys get interested in girls when they get older.
Roger Reese.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm looking for Rebecca Hahn.
The ever-predictable TV cad.
Oh, you're welcome.
Goodbye to L.A. Law's Richard Dysart.
Of course I'm listening. Just thinking about another matter. That's all. Let's move on there, Douglas.
Check it out.
And to Daniel Von Bargen.
3 times around, no fee.
Who played George Costanza's terrible boss.
Do you know who I am? I'm Mo Green.
Alex Rocco played a mob boss in The Godfather. Goodbye to him. And to Taylor Negrin.
For the deviled cheese and sausage.
And Rick Ducommun.
Ray. This is Walter.
What a pleasant surprise meeting you here, my dear.
Patrick McNee, you were dashing on the Avengers.
Get under those covers, young lady.
Okay, but wait until this woman has her revolution.
Suzanne Crowe as the littlest partridge. You were cute.
I said hip hop.
So were you, Ellen Albertini.
You don't stop the rock to the bang bang boogie. Say up jump the boogie to the niggas are the boogie them beat. Now we got him. We got him.
Goodbye to James Best, Hazard County's bumbling sheriff. And to Martin Milner.
You let yourself get emotionally involved, you can't do your job. That's part of learning to be a pro. Maybe the toughest part.
His cop was a real pro. Farewell to Ron Taylor, who battled Hitchcock's birds.
Let the cartoon begin.
And to Gilbert Lewis, who was Pee-wee's king of cartoons. Gregory Walcott will be remembered best for starring in a movie that was one of the worst.
I saw a flying saucer.
You mean the kind from up there?
Yeah, its counterpart.
Like every great artist, I want to create an indisputable masterpiece once in my lifetime.
Christopher Lee, your villains. And vampires will never die. And neither will director Wes Craven's creepy creations. He left us screaming this year. As will Gunnar Hansen, who wielded that terrible chainsaw in Texas and died quietly on the coast of Maine.
Everybody's buzzing.
Bert Shavitz kept bees quietly in the Maine woods, even after he became famous for the lip balm and beauty products he and his bees helped to produce. He buzzed off this year. Au revoir to Paul Prudhomme.
Now that's what I call a pot of jambalaya.
He gave us Cajun recipes to spice up our lives. Chuck Williams provided the cookware.
I'm a pawn shop. I love to shop.
Lillian Vernon put her stamp of approval on lots of things, which could be personalized for free. Farewell to Betty Willis, who gave us this fabulous sign. And to Michael Gross, who designed this logo.
Who you gonna call?
So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you.
And so long to Ronnie Gilbert. She sang with the Weavers in Union Halls and started a folk music revolution.
And I gotta be drifting along. So long, it's been good.
It's been good to know you, Ronnie, and each of the admirable, amazing men and women who left us this year. Our thanks to you all.